Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Revolver Fan First podcast, where we go deep with artists on their history as a fan. I'm your host, Christina, and today we are joined by a man known as a riff lord, if you will, in certain circles, many circles, in fact, Matt Pike of Sleep and High on Fire, and now a solo artist in his own right. How are you going, Matt?
Doing good, trying to hang in there.
Yeah, keeping it real.
Myself so I don't self-destruct.
Important. It's good to, yeah. I mean, well, I'm excited you've been productive, which is exciting.
Oh yeah, like I got a lot of shit done that, I mean, it took to the end of, December to like get everything, between a book and an album. And, I played a few shows here and there, which turned out pretty rad. We only had one cancel on us the whole thing. So
that's great.
Berkeley, where I don't know, it's the Bay Area. So
Yeah, we will get into that because you've got a history there. Okay, first question. There's a lot to delve into about the present time, but the first question is, who was the first artist you put on a pedestal that you kind of looked up to and went, this is something that that I admire and I'd like to one day aspire to get to, I guess.
Oh, kid. As a kid, I mean, like Kiss, Led Zeppelin,
yeah,
Black Sabbath, anything that was in my father's, Pink Floyd, anything that was in my father's record collection, I guess. And I was a dinky kid, and I'd go over and like put on his records until I broke his turntable once. I deserved it too. I broke the handle off it, and I was too young. My dad had told me, "Do not break that. Do not break the needle off that. I'll kill you." And like, of course, I was always the kid you can't give a red button to. Don't give me a red button. Tell me not to push it to the will. And I fucked up and like, yeah, I'm lucky to be alive after that one.
I'm glad
he beat me half to death somehow. Yeah, that was a big one.
What were the songs you had on repeat? What were the songs you had on repeat on like what? Well, had on repeat. It wasn't had on repeat when it was a record. You just kept putting the tape back on there.
I mean, I do that, but I'm not one of those people. Like, I know there's certain people who listen to the same song fucking over and over and over. I go through all the material. Like, I always listen to like at least one whole side of a record. That's the side I listen to. Yep. And then a day later, I'll flip it over and just listen to that side, And I remember my dad having the Led Zeppelin 4, one with Black Dog. It's the first song on it.
Yeah.
I remember listening to that, and he had a whole lot of love. And then that one I would listen to over and over as a kid, just because he had this crazy 70s, like, it was called quadraphonic sound, but it was 70s like technology for surround sound. Sick. And it was just awesome sounding. It was so fucking loud the neighbors would call the police on me when my dad would get home from work and be all like, "What the fuck did you do?" And I was like, "I was jamming out, like fucking listening to music really loud."
How old were you?
Oh, I don't know, like 8, 9. I'd like yeah.
Awesome. That's funny. Like, whole lot of love. Rob Halford from Judas Priest said that was like the moment where he wanted to become like a singer, because like, and the interplay and like he had it on a like mono speaker, so you had a way better experience a few years later with the advent of 70s sound. Like,
yeah, my dad had kind of like good taste of that in cars and shit that dude shit back then, Now it's misogynist dude shit, but like whatever.
Yeah. What did he teach you about music? What did he say was important to listen to? Like.
Oh, he didn't. He just had a record player and cool records.
And let you go.
That was a few years after I broke. I think when I broke the arm off the thing, I was like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And I just went for it.
Yeah.
All that thing. Always look. Dad told me not to touch it.
You've kept consistent in life.
Yeah.
Ever since. Yeah, that's good. Who was the first artist you saw yourself in?
I saw myself
Yeah, that you kind of felt like speaking a language, like,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. I really, when I was a kid, I really liked Jimi Hendrix. I had this huge poster on the wall, like, and he's like in this blue sky, and it was like it took up my whole wall. And that wasn't until I got older, though. I mean, I was like 11, 12.
Yeah.
I remember when Iron Maiden. I remember Yngwie Malmsteen coming out, and I remember listening to Ozzy things while selling newspaper subscriptions. And this dude would drive me and all the stoner kids around in this van. We go door to door, like trying to sell newspaper subscriptions, and yeah, he let us listen to like Wizard of Oz all the time.
Sick.
Yeah, and then like Metallica and Anthrax, and then Metal Blade Records happened.
Yeah.
Like 3 songs. There was like Haunting the Chapel. There was like Trouble. Did some small EP. They were putting out EPs.
Yeah.
And then I got the Celtic Frost one and Emperor's Return. Like that one really struck me as like, dude, this is fucking what a weird choice of fucking notes. And I was playing all the time. Like once I was able to get a guitar, I was like 10 or 11 before I was like, I had a suitable guitar that would stay in tune or anything. And my mom got that for me, or my mom and my dad pitched in and got it for me, and I never stopped.
That was it.
Started ditching school and
Same.
hanging around with other kids who wanted electric guitars.
Yeah. So did you find other kids easily to kind of jam with and stuff?
Not really. I was kind of ahead of my game for
Yeah.
my age. Like I don't know. I was kind of, I don't know. There's people who are naturals, and then there's people who have to learn, but they're gonna learn it with better technique.
Yeah.
Like I knew how to wrangle the thing for some weird reason.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was like pretty good at picking stuff.
Well, you probably like if you're like smashing the quadraphonic sound system from 4, you've probably internalized a lot of stuff. So that and there's only so many riffs in the world, right?
No,
oh, you're freezing. There you go.
Yeah, that art was like my deal then.
Yeah.
Were
you drawing and stuff then?
Huh?
Were you like into drawing and stuff?
Yeah, I was way more into drawing until I got a guitar.
Yeah.
And I even to this day will do little sketches, but it's usually to make people laugh. Or like, I love when we're on tour and like Des used to give me his like drum heads to draw shit on, and I draw the most dorky ass like, my art studies ended in about 10th or 11th grade.
Yeah.
So it still looks like I draw like a 10th or 11th grader.
Yeah.
I draw some fucking
which has some charm. It's got charm, man. Like it's got mad charm. That's the
whole point, that because I'm surrounded by like some of the best artists in the world sometimes. So I'll draw something totally stupid and give it to them, and they're like, dude, fucking love that. Oh my God.
What was it like commissioning all those artists for the book?
Well, it was expensive. I basically gave all the artists all the advance. You know what I mean? There was like X amount of dollars. I gave all an equal increment to aside of a couple of people did some extra stuff that they got a little bit more. Just for the hours they put in. But basically I was just trying to provide a job for a bunch of artists who were probably suffering like me, and I'm like, I gotta put out a book, and this is all done. So I had to go through and check the editing on all the typos on every bad typo that ever happened on an album of mine. I got to go back and redo. Yeah. And then sometimes like the lyrics, like you can write them down a certain way. Then when you listen to them back to the way you sang them, I did something like take a couple buts and syllables, like something out to like make it fit. Yeah. And then I noticed, oh fuck, that's right. On there like that, someone's gonna point it out, and I'm certain, but yeah, that's just critical of like whatever.
Well, when did you start writing lyrics and stuff? Did that come a lot later, or did that happen around like the time when you're like drawing and playing guitar? Like, were you kind of just doing all the things, words as well?
I would have did. I mean, I used to like playing bands when I was like, yeah, like really young, like 13, 14. I had
Yeah.
a friend named Robbie, and I had a friend named Scooter, a friend named Aaron. And we used to always try to start bands, and we'd have jam.
Yeah. Oh, you're frozen.
Do like Metallica
Really?
Rush cover. Huh?
Yeah. No,
Yeah, this was like in Colorado.
in
I'm
where?
frozen.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
back.
this was Colorado, and we had like, I think we stole some custom amps from high school, and yeah, there's a couple different drummers we could play with. There was one guy who was really good,
Yeah.
and then the other people would be like, not so good at drums, but
It's hard to
he'll
find.
learn. Yeah.
It's hard to find a good drummer. That's like one of those things.
Not
How's the new High on Fire drummer?
Oh, he's fucking marvelous. And so was the last one. So was the
Oh,
one.
of course. Yeah, no, Des was amazing. Yeah, of course.
But yeah, Cody seems to be the one that has the most, how do you say it, like chemistry with us.
Yeah, sick.
Oh, he's killing the shows too.
Yeah.
And what's cool is he's putting himself into the role of drummer instead of like trying to emulate anything any drummer's ever done before him.
Yeah.
Song. He's putting himself into the songs, which makes
That's beautiful.
They're pretty diverse.
What
as far as that goes.
What was the first song you put yourself in? Like, were you writing like, yeah, like, do you remember like the first songs you wrote? Like
High on Fire?
Yeah. No, just in general, just for you as a person, as an artist.
Yeah, I had stuff from when I was a kid. I still know riffs from when I was a kid. That like, they sound kind of like in between Motley Crue and Iron Maiden, or they sound like, like when I was or like SOD, and that was like hardcore. Now people, fucking totally racist that fucking thing is, and it's like, well, when you're a kid and you hear like riffs like that, though, they had fucking riffs, I don't think anybody understood, you know what I mean, what Billy Milano was saying or whatever.
You were innocent kids getting into it.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, and all the punk stuff that I would listen to,
Yeah.
And that was like Ted Kennedy's Black Flag, Misfits, Circle Jerks, Fear, all the good shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just into skateboarding, ditching school, and guitar, and taking acid.
Yes, psychedelic experiences, because we've talked about this before. Like, you had some some really transformative moments as like a young teenager with psychedelics, and them kind of shifting your perspective on the world.
Yeah, that and the death of my mother. Like, there's a lot of things that took me away from, because if you're raised in a household where it's like, excuse me, traditional Christianity.
Yeah.
It intrigued me because I always thought the Bible was talking about aliens since I was like a little kid. They're talking about Spock, or you know what I mean? I'd say weird shit like that because I was all into Star Trek. And like In Search Of with Leonard Nimoy, and they talk about Bigfoot, or talk about UFOs, or talk about Bermuda Triangle and the Bio vortex. All that kind of stuff intrigued me when I was like really, really young. So, throughout my whole life, I always liked the mysterious, esoteric things that no one knows about. The hidden treasure chest in the cave or whatnot, with all the scrolls in it.
And you build them, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I guess what happened, because I mean that's a pretty formative experience. Like, that's like one of the most significant experiences we all go through of like mortality, is losing a parent like that, because it changes. You go, well, things end, like a really important thing ends. Like,
my understanding of faith and all that at that moment got very more Gnostic. Meaning knowledge, or actually the word gnosis means the same thing as Buddha. It's fucking weird, but I believe that you should be well informed before you make decisions about things you have faith in, you know.
Yes. And it's,
blind faith doesn't do many people very much good, because later on they get hit in the face with reality. But then reality as we know it, I don't even think we know
no.
1/3 of our history, let alone our truth. Like, it's been covered up. It's been covered. Like,
there's a lot of deception.
You in school is not true.
Yeah. Well, this is the whole thing. It's like when people get all about conspiracy theories, it's like, actually no, that there are conspiracies, but they're far more significant and sophisticated than anything you'll ever understand. Like really dark things.
Or for that matter. And just because conspiracy theory doesn't mean it's not true.
No,
it's just a theory about 3 or more people doing something illegal. That's our entire government. It's a conspiracy.
100%.
Fucking fact. If you think about 70% of it, that's been proven true. You know, it's like, I don't know. That's why they shut people up like Julian Assange. Though. That's not hearsay. That's like fucking hijacking shit. The guy shouldn't be out. That fucking poor dude.
Well, it's like what they did to Edward Snowden as well.
Oh, I know. The fucking hero.
Yeah,
that
dude.
On you, and the government makes it all. Oh, this is treason. You know, this is, you know. Fuck you. Fuck you. He did the right thing and told his fellow fucking countrymen how fucked that fucking tyrannical piece of shit side of fucking, you know, NSA and all that shit is. That those people shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, if you type,
it's
if you type, that comes up to you. That used to be if you type Illuminati backwards in your word search.
Yeah.
NSA comes up. It's just the NSA board. So what the fuck? Wow.
That's pretty twisted, dude. Yeah, this is what was like, you were 15 in 87. What did the world look like? Did you feel like you could trust things then, or what was it like kind of at that point as a teenager? And I guess, like how did psychedelics change?
I worried about it. I didn't worry about anything until George Bush Jr. was in office. That's when I started getting more realizing how fucked the politics were in our, you know, before then I never paid attention. And you shouldn't have.
No. Well,
you're bad to pay attention now.
Well, you came of age in the era of where hair metal was a big thing, and there was sort of like a big response to it. It sounds like from people I've spoken to that there was hair metal and pro hair and all that kind of crap. And then there was this whole world of musicians that went, no, I'm good. I want to do something different. Was that your experience or?
Yeah, I guess so. Or a bunch of, I think some of the music got a little more political and less about getting pussy or ass on the, you know, and you know, that's the Hollywood fucking glam rock era. It was like, oh, I stole a purse, got a credit card, screwed that chick, but then now it's coming down. I gotta move around town and grab another chick and steal her credit cards because I'm a glam rocker, you know, that shit.
That was quite poetic. That was just bringing that to life. I just want to say on behalf of everyone, we appreciate you taking it to the next level because it really did illustrate the point.
No, that's just me joking around, but I remember that, and it was like, it was just about really shitty dudes with bad intentions doing really shitty things with bad intentions, letting girls do their hairstyle and looking like girls so they can get more girls.
And they couldn't play for shit as well. Most of them couldn't play for shit.
Good, but rare. Motley Crue, dude, I love Motley Crue.
Yeah.
I even Rad is such a bunch of pieces of shit, dude, but they were fucking so good. They were like one of the first concerts I saw with this Rat, Fastway, and something else. My mom took me to the show, and I was like that young. And there's just certain elements about, dude, you know a band I fucking love is Wasp, and I love Twisted Sister, and dude, there's fucking There was good glam bands. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I no, no,
Even
it's
Van Halen was on that spectrum,
yeah,
of flashy. I fucking love Van Halen. Just because Eddie Van Halen died last year doesn't mean that no one liked him before that. It was just
yes,
made everybody do tributes and stuff.
yeah, and that's a beautiful thing. Well, that's interesting. That's a whole thing. Did you ever dress up? Well, how are you dressing at this point as a teenager? How were you like wearing that? Were you into the culture, like the subcultures and stuff?
Yeah, man. I had a black mohawk for a while.
Yeah.
I had long stoner hair like my whole life. Like my mom would just, she'd feather it and it got longer and longer. Like my grandpa talked to me less and less because my hair was past my shoulders. And then he just didn't like me anymore. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So,
That's good to know. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I went through. Yeah, I shaved like one side of my head a long time ago,
Yeah.
and that was like a big statement back then. And then I dyed my hair black and I had a black mohawk when I was like, I don't know, I was like 14 to 16. I just had long black hair, or I could spike it up.
Like with soap?
Yeah.
Yeah. Soap is the way you do it. Yeah.
No. Aquanet.
Oh,
Extreme
what do I
hold.
know? Yeah.
Yeah. Super extreme hold or whatever the fuck it was.
Do you
It was the bottle.
like, yeah. No,
It
you
was
go.
the bottle pink. It had like pink fucking fishnet looking shit on it.
Awesome.
Yeah. My little
You,
mohawk.
was that a part of like putting together like a stage look and like as a performer and stuff and thinking about who you, or is you just being an idiot? You're just being a silly teenager.
I was being a silly teenager.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would have done that if I was in a band when I was 14 though.
Yeah.
Called The Fire, and it was with 3 glam dudes, and I was the only like little Slayer fucking anarchist kid.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was at least I played parties and stuff. That's pretty good for my age.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's not surprising. Like, people really connect with your style. Like not every guitar player has the kind of world around them that you do. You've built like this audience, and you must see it with the Patreon and stuff, that there are people who are really invested in what you do. And that's a rare thing. And I think people get invested in artists when it's clear they've invested in the art, like you've, spent like decades and decades kind of refining, and you've clearly got a natural, talent and stuff. What was it, this solo album and stuff, what made you make the decision to do this rather than make another High on Fire record, or like how did it kind of reflect the artist you've been over your life?
Well, because our drummer situation was a little unstable. Yeah. Jeff had a family member that was a little older, his mom was elderly, and we were keeping her kind of safe before anybody knew anything about COVID. Everybody's scared as fuck, and I was like, I wasn't scared of it for me, but I would, like something like that. I'm like, I'm not a total jerk. I'm not gonna go over there, I'll wear a mask or whatever. And then we weren't getting much done with sitting there, not in a garage, that's all hot because it was like summertime. I'm like, fuck, man, this sucks. So, friend of mine, John Reed, who's an automaton with me, he started coming over because he's like family.
Yeah. The dying guy? Is this the drummer? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Lord Dying guy. Yeah. And Alyssa, who's actually in Lord Dying.
Your wife, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was meant. She's actually in Lord Dying now, but John started that band with, the original guitar player. He's now filling in he's gonna be the live dude for Automaton.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So yeah. So I got 2 guitars for once in my life, but it's because the way I wrote that record has there's so many guitar layers and shit I could without.
Have you got any riffs from when you were a kid in there? Have you got any kid riffs in there?
Can't remember. I'm sure there's 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's 1 or 2. Yeah.
What would it be if it
Or
was a movie?
I gassed, I'll do that. Like something I wrote, 30 years ago, I'll take it. I'll be, I remember that.
Yeah.
Like there definitely was on Electric Messiah. There's riffs from when I was a kid that were just rewritten.
Awesome.
So they're a little more up to beat, up to par. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful thing. If it was a movie, what kind of movie? What would it be as a film? Like, who would direct it? If you were to create a film to go with the record.
Oh, I don't know.
Pretty random.
David Lynch.
Yeah.
Actually, for real, no.
Yeah.
No, I like David Lynch. He's just there's those parts where it's just so long and drawn out, and it's scary just because you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And like nothing's happening at all, but there's all this fucking crazy music. And you're like, dude, what the hell? It's like a crack on the walls that's all horrifying. Like, dude, what the fuck?
Well, you do surprising music. You go like round turns and stuff, and you don't know what's about to happen. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like,
I think that's. I like his theories on transcendental meditation and revisiting your old work and things that keep you creative.
yeah.
He's got this whole philosophy about it. It's all pretty. It all makes sense to me.
Yeah. Do you practice it? Do you go back and yeah.
Yeah, I definitely meditate on stuff.
Yeah.
And I do go back and listen to like my first stuff like we're doing right now and talking about that. That's like really important to revisit.
Yeah.
Because you have to remember your foundation.
Right? Yeah.
That you started and developed when we decided, because when you're first in a band, you're like, I don't know where this is fucking going. I don't know what this is going to be. And then as you go, you start having a way clearer picture of what you want to do next. And now once I get something in my head, I'm doing that. And then the willing it tends to make it happen. I mean, it done.
Sick.
Yeah, the more I've practiced it, the better I've got.
Yeah, you've oiled the channel, if you will.
Yeah, my will becoming reality.
Yeah. More of a slide than like a that.
Oh no, just kind of, but it has to happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't go the way, like, you can't think it into existence and have it like pop up like you're like, I want toast right now, and you think it, and there's toast. Well, you have to go down and then hope that you can go and find bread, and then the butter that goes with it, and then hope that they had supplied that to somewhere like a store, and then bring that home and figure out a way of applying heat. And then you have toast, but you willed that toast to be in front of you. You had to physically fucking go get it.
It's synchronicity. It brings all the things. It brings all the magical things together.
Like 1 1 1 2 3 3 3. It's like consistently, constantly happening.
Well, it's like if there's, if you look at the ocean and stuff, like we're made of the same stuff. Like we're not separate to like the ocean and the passage, like the moon and the passage of time and all that stuff. Like how can it not be, how can there not be divine timing in something like threading through all of us? Like how can there be something like?
There absolutely is. Well, I think it's organized chaos.
Yeah. What's one idea? Yeah, you go.
And well, there's a perfection to like say these bodies, you know what I mean? They last for an awful lot of time and take a lot of abuse, but the chaos that we create just being in them, you know what I mean? The fact that they live and they die off, and we, our energy goes wherever else, that we know scientifically. The fact that the body you're in though is like almost perfect for living in an environment, for 70 to 100 years on this planet. That's not an accident. You know what I mean? There's a divine, paranormal, whatever you want to call it, involved in that one way or another, whatever you believe.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing with different names, or the same thing with different ways
And it's like creativity in art is kind of like this cool manifestation of that. Like, where the hell do ideas come from? How does, as human beings, we, tell stories and bring things to life. Like, is there like one story on the solo album that you're really proud of? Like a musical storyline or something you've kind of explored?
Well, I'm
Yeah.
pretty proud of.
Yeah. What's the storyline?
A lot of them are just inside puns, jokes, like a lot of the working titles.
Yeah.
Working titles are funny because we just think of stupid shit while we're all sitting around laughing. And,
like what?
Oh, like Alien Slut Mom. That came from a story. That came from actually my driver, my German bus driver, Freighter, and dreams I had about my mother after she died, and a combination of a bunch of shit. And
yeah.
It ended up being what we called it because I didn't have another title.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah, Sabbath do that. Sabbath have ridiculous working titles for things like, is it like Moon Winnebago, like Planet Caravan, like no, it's a thing and it's exciting. I'm glad you made a thing, dude. It's sick.
Yeah, no. Yeah, did you hear it?
No, they haven't. No, I didn't get to hear it yet. I would have really liked to hear it.
Yeah, you gotta fucking hear that.
I'd love to hear it.
It's weird. It's like,
dude, I love good music.
On it. It's but I made it in a way where it's not. It doesn't sound forced. It sounds like it's all tied up. It's not forced though. It's not. It doesn't sound. It's like 10 different kinds of music on one album, but it doesn't sound like it's not an album. It's like it's supposed to be there. It's really. You've kind of got
a lot inside, like you've absorbed a lot of different kinds of music, so it makes sense that you're able to kind of expel stuff that sounds really different. From like a super young age, you've been like absorbing. Like, just quickly, absorbing like in like Oakland and stuff. Like you've mentioned to me as well. You're adjacent to like the motorbike world and biker world and like thrash and like there's a lot of interesting things happening in Bay Area. How did that stuff kind of come into you?
I don't know. I just think it's things that align and when you show up, like when you that expression, the wrong person, or he was in the wrong spot, wrong place at the wrong time. Well, what if you're in the right place at a strange time, or what if you're at a strange place at the wrong time or right time, or if you take all that wordplay, but actually put it into scenarios. I believe that that you have decisions quantumly to make.
Yes.
As you get to the corner, do you go right, left, or forward? And depending, it's like choose your own adventure world.
Yeah.
So it's getting less and less like that. But
Yeah. It's a dramatic. Like, well, you've been through some interesting stuff as well. Like you've been through all sorts of wild and wonderful things over this time. What is your musical Mount Rushmore, which has 4 heads, which I got wrong earlier this week, apparently. I thought it was 5, but there are actually 4 heads to be carved into the stone. One day we will have these carved. I'm pretty keen to make a pilgrimage to all of the rock and roll Mount Rushmores, and I'm keen to know who is on yours.
Oh, dude. Definitely it'd be Hendrix. Definitely Iommi, the Sabbath. It's hard to say who would be before. I would have had to give that. I'd have to give that some clearer thought.
Yes.
I didn't wake up all the way today yet.
No. Yep. Hey man, it's 6:30 over here, so it's
morning.
Yeah, don't talk to me about getting up. Well, actually, briefly, Iommi.
I'm actually right now.
I'm in the future. I know. Tomorrow. It's pretty. Yeah. You're in the past, Matt. Like, I should tell you about the future, man. It's a beautiful place. Things have changed. The world, the planet's recovered, and that's cool.
You invest in. all the crypto. How's crypto this time?
Oh, it's great. I'll work it out. Like you should have your own crypto.
Yeah, I should have my own
Pike
Forex,
coin.
too.
Pike coin.
Dude, how the fuck do you do? I don't even want to know. I wouldn't even want to get involved in that.
Someone will come up with this.
Although I'm very good with like shit like that, like looking at the stock market. I didn't start messing around with it till COVID came around, and then I was bored. I'm like, I'm gonna make money some fucking now. And like my dad did it, I guess I can try. And I did okay on a couple things. You know, I put a little bit of it that I had saved, and I was like, I'm just gonna mess around with this and see if I can make money out of it. And if I figure this out, like how my grandfather was when he was alive, like he was a retired fireman, and he fucking hit it. He just played, you know, the safe stock market. Somehow he came out fucking major top of whatever was going on.
Wow. That's a random aside. Like that's an interesting thing.
At 5 a.m. every morning and batters every and like leaves. I mean, it's just it's kind of ethereal. Like the stock market is very like, it's not based on reality. It's all based on feeling. Well, yeah, and it's kind of a big casino, you know?
Yeah.
Really. Yeah, it's not based on anything. It's not based, all that money and shit is not backed by gold or
it's not real.
Anything lucrative. Yeah, or anything tangible, excuse me. It's based on lucrative invisible shit, you know, inanimate objects, and based off, you know, obviously market value, and people have this much shit to sell. Are they going to sell that much shit or not?
Yeah,
that's the risk the shareholder takes. Blah blah blah. Well, yeah, and it's all invisible. Fiat currencies. You know, I can't believe it hasn't died. It should have died like probably about 10, 15 years
ago. What should have died?
Oh, the stock market.
That'd be
the
sick.
dollar. The dollar, like all of it. All of it should be dead already. They keep plugging huge holes with band-aids, you know, and all the great minds in business can see it leaking, you know.
Yeah, we need to come up with a better. How would society look if you got to pick? How would society? How could we? What is like post-capitalism in Matt Pike world? Like, what could we do? Like, how would the world operate? Just a small question, Matt. Just super chill. It's real minor, small talk.
It'd be a lot. I don't think I'd have privatized prisons. I don't think I'd have government. Would be very, very minimal. Very only to enforce like people can't come and murder you and take your shit. If that happens, but I think see in anarchy, your community of anarchists would come to the aid. You know, of you would have a task force of you know, people that would have to deal with that, the bigger, more aggressive people. Basically all the women, you know, have to go after that man. Look, he did something bad. Oh, dude, that guy's dead.
I like this. We need more. Yeah, we need to balance the
No, that's what, and like, yeah, if you go back to, you know, all sorts of different warriors, including the Vikings, including, you know, they treated women, fought just like men did.
Yeah.
Women fought just like men did. But, you know, the societies were so, there never had to be a bra burning back then.
No, they played their role.
Or it's like this, a lot of the kids were raised by the whole tribe and not just the parents. You know, there's tribes that are like that. I think those roles in society are very important because, you know, a kid that was raised by the whole village is probably going to find what he does best from his favorite, you know, say there's a town blacksmith, a baker, a fucking whatever. He would choose by way of, you know, his own fate.
Yeah.
In his way, his parents wouldn't have to have babysitters and go to work 9 to 5 from some fucking asshole that, you know, doesn't pay them shit, takes all the top.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Society.
Yeah.
I think I don't think we're overpopulated as much. I think we're a little overpopulated. I think it needs to be down some.
Yeah.
but I'm not like a dentist until I go to a meet and greet. A mouth breather, fucking, it's a knock knock. Who's there? Hal who? Halitosis. You're like, dude, Jesus fucking Christ, where do you come from? Maybe people like that.
The swamp. They come from the swamp.
Fucking,
I know you. I know you are. It's great.
Fucking old English bat fucking. That's the scum. These are the slave people. These are the servants in the quarters.
The peasants.
Bring me my peasants. We'll go hunting the fox and that kind of shit. Yeah, I see those things in society and I joke about it, and I play the for a second, but I'm not that type of person. I can walk in other people's shoes. Always could, like when you can do that, I think you can understand society a lot better. When you can look at every perspective.
Yeah.
And what's in your heart, where most people have a good scope on what's right and wrong.
Yeah. What's it like being married to another creative person? Like your wife is super talented. Like I've seen some like her artwork and music, and like it's so cool to she's bitchy. Like
yeah. Well, once in a while we ruffle each other's feathers, but we work really well together on business, But creative people go crazy if they don't have something to focus on. So yeah.
We need projects.
Yeah, us getting locked in a house together, we need projects.
Yeah. But it's beautiful what
project.
Yeah.
Staying alive, barricading myself in the basement.
It's a project.
She's gonna find ways to the laundry chute and come down and stab me. I'm like,
that's love. I know. You're taking the piss, but it's love. It's nice. It's I've got a so visually and stuff, what are you gonna do with this solo album?
Oh, well, we did one video already, and the second video is being edited today. Like her and my see, they're editing the other video, and that's like, I don't want to give it away. I'm just gonna say it's like Prohibition era, lots of fighting and drunken Prohibition era kind of shit.
That sounds fun.
And then so black and white.
Yes.
So it's really, and it's filmed this crazy way that my wife thought of. That's just fucking genius.
Awesome. Yay. I've always loved like the visual worlds you create for your stuff I've always been sick. Like
I feel like it's important. And then when you run out of like, started off all fantasy and all this and that, and like I think the last two videos we just did for the Pike versus automaton thing is they're really creative. One looks like an Evil Dead movie, and the other one's like, as I said, just like a great piece. And it was so much fun DIYing our own video.
Yeah.
And getting the money and putting it into production, because now we're into like the film organization, I guess.
Yeah. Really?
It's not. Yeah. Well, we shot our own videos, but we have like, I think my wife and a couple of those people are like kind of starting their own film thing. She's really good at editing, of course. She's good at everything.
Dude, she's a badass. Crazy badass. Yeah.
And she's tattooing again.
Yeah.
So I feel like if she's tattooing and she's doing shit like that, she's less miserable than if like she's not feeling it,
Man, so, I think it's been hard on all creative people the last few years, especially without all the good outlets. Like without all the good outlets, it's Well, that's what's been like. How has the Patreon changed things? Because that's like you guys are obviously producing a lot of content for that. What's that been like?
What I meant by film, like we started doing that.
Oh, that's how it came together. Yeah, right.
Got me an Instagram, and I started doing like all the want some coffee things, and that's usually like I used to wake up and she'd like say something, and before I wanted to talk, before I had my coffee or anything, I'd go, come here, would you like some of that? Yeah. Yeah, and like shove it in her face and like be a dick about it. And she started filming me doing it. I didn't know it. And it turned out really funny. So
Yeah, that's awesome. No, it's good to make stuff and put it out into the world. Like I can't wait to hear this album. It's exciting.
yeah,
Interesting.
I wish I could give you
Yeah.
I don't know how. Yeah, they'll like give it to me for, and then it will go away off like my Dropbox or something. I'm all, I don't have my own album, dude. I'm like, what's going on? What if I have to reverse this? This is stupid. Or I can't find it somewhere. It's in a cloud somewhere. I'm like,
Yeah.
what am I in the clouds?
I've got another question that puts you on the spot, but I don't know whether you're down with it. 5 songs that changed your life.
Changed my life.
Yeah. Changed the direction of it. You went, hey, what about this?
Oh, I'd have to go with one that changed a lot of people's lives, including politically and in the stance that it took in Beethoven's Ninth.
Yeah.
I mean that had a spectacle on mankind. That's like one of my favorite music ever. Definitely the intro and Shine On You Crazy Diamond by Pink Floyd.
Dude.
That always hit. Dude, I saw that live on LSD when I was a kid, and I'd never heard anything so good. His guitar tone and it was just so fucking loud, and I was like, dude. And then when it hit, it was just like, you're just like tears, like you can't, you know what I mean?
Because that was about Old Mate, right? Yeah. It was about the dude in the band. Like, yeah. And like losing his shit. And yeah, I don't think you should listen to Pink Floyd without acid, actually. Like, to be honest, I don't think you should. I think you should probably do it while listening. It's call me old fashioned. I just think it's probably the best approach.
It is.
Yeah.
No, it's what it was intended.
It's how it was intended. That's just the way it is. Okay, number 3. I like this list though already.
Yeah. See, I hadn't got to think this through.
Yeah.
Definitely Into the Void.
Yes.
I don't know. The riffs on that song.
Dude.
Like, yeah, that was taking, that's made metal a whole new thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't think anybody would have the jigga jiggas, you know.
That's why I named my YouTube channel after that song.
Into the Void?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Void. That's named after that song because I wanted to remember that riff forever.
I don't have it on this wall, but Alyssa made a picture and it's just, she just painted a canvas and it's just kind of black and has a couple purple streaks and it's just real darkness. And then she framed it and she's all, check it out what I did. And I was all, the fuck's that? She's all, Into the Void. It's just like this nice frame with Into the Void, just it's all black. I was all, dude.
She drew an actual void.
Yeah. She painted an actual void. Yeah.
Well, it's important to have a void around, you know, because you used to play Sabbath covers when you were a kid, right?
Yeah, I still play Sabbath covers every now and then. You know,
feeling saucy.
Yeah.
It's okay. Song 4. I know. It's kind of mean to put people on the spot like this. I'm kind of like, but it's interesting what your brain kind of turns up when you're actually forced to put on.
I think maybe Mahavishnu, Birds of Fire, or the Intermounting Flame. They're very similar, both those. Yeah, when I heard that there was something about the meter and the guitar playing, it just totally fucking blew me away.
Sick. Is that some 70s stuff? Did you hear it on that sound system?
Oh yeah. And then God, yeah, I have to go back because it really had a big impact on me when I first. There's so many of those.
Yeah. Yeah,
I can't pick another one. You can't give me that many choices when I can think of 30,000 different things.
That's true.
changed my life a little bit. You know?
What was the first song that soothed you? That like you kind of went, ah.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's a weird ass question. Sometimes I don't know what I'm saying.
I don't know. There's like a couple King Crimson songs that are like that.
Yeah. It's soothed.
Well, I can't remember the fucking name of it because I'm having a brain fart. Like that's what happens when you try to think of something and you know the name of it.
Well, I make it difficult. Just making it difficult over here. That's what I'm doing. Just be real.
No. And yeah, I would have to say the beginning of the thrash revolution.
Yeah.
And, you know, also the British invasion.
Yeah.
The priest stuff was really like I'd have to say like just like Electric Eye and the Helium intro. That was such a big thing, you know, all the priest stuff was big to me, Iron Maiden stuff was big to me. So it's really, and then when I heard Metallica Master of Puppets, you know, or Battery, actually, the first thing I heard on that wasn't even on the radio yet. And I bought that and I went over to these dude's house. They were older than me. They were the Flanagan brothers, and they used to sell me weed. And I was like 12, you know, 12 or 13. And I got so stoned I couldn't fucking deal with it, you know, and I was like literally hallucinating off pot because I'd been smoking brown weed. I never smoked green weed in my life, and they got Maui Wowie, and that was the first time I ever knew where to get Maui Wowie. And then yeah, we were smoking it, and I literally turned green in it, and like there's like I was just there was all this weird shit going on. Like I took a hit of acid or something, but I didn't. It was just really strong weed for me as a kid. And hearing that album like that, I was like, that changed. That had a major changing on like my playing that I'd done so far. I wasn't at that point where it was like that great, but I'd been playing for a few years, and I was like, holy shit, I can do that. I know I can do that. You know?
Yeah.
After that, I started like delving into studying more records and stuff.
Yeah.
Same thing with Slayer. Like when I first heard Slayer, Hell Awaits, you know, it's mind blowing.
Yes.
How fucking badass that is. You know?
It's the American. Yeah, you're right. Like I like that thrash invasion and the British heavy metal. It's the thrash thing was your American contribution. That's changing the course of music history and heavy metal history. Like you came up with, you know, your country did a great thing. Thanks. Just want to say on behalf of the world, thanks, American rock and roll. We really appreciate it. Been headbanging for 30 years, you know, people.
Yeah.
Not me, but
I still am able to do it and have people appreciate it. Like,
yeah.
Go at the last shows we had, man. It's like people are starving for any sort of normalcy or randomly unnormality, you know.
Get randomly unnormality. You have to go, don't you? This is you got to go do you got to do the I held you for an hour. Sorry. We've been
that's okay. Yeah. No, you're always like my favorite person.
Oh, so are you. I love you. I do too. Like, dude, we go back to like 10, 12 years now. The first time I interviewed you was 12 years ago. We were babies.
Yeah, we were still babies.
Out at the pool.
I was so shit. So drunk. I was like one away from Chris Holmes.
Oh, good times. Well, we're still doing it, right? We're still doing it. Yeah. You know, what else can you?
I'm a little more sober.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I am too.
No.
It's true. It's good. Well, good on you for making stuff and going down this path. I can't wait to hear the solo album, and it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be sick. Like
I'll get on them about that. I'm gonna get a fucking call that why you don't have that and get a report on it.
Sick, dude.
Get a report on it. Things that I can answer that I've answered 100 times. I'm like, yeah, okay, but you know,
the power's
you're always.
Thanks, man. You're a top dude.
Well,
You're
I'll
the
miss.
most beloved one of all of my interview subjects. Like people, no one loves our interviews more than any of the other ones. Like that's just because people love to hear you just riff on life.
That's
They-
cool.
yeah, it's good. No, it's true. Like they just embrace it.
I don't think a lot of people touch on personal aspects of themselves, like in
Yeah.
rock.
It's more fun. It's interesting.
Like, yeah, which is okay, but I don't know, I'm just real. If I talk to people like I talk to, I
People,
talk to interviews like I talk to a person that, if I was sitting down at the bar or something, or if I was,
yes,
taking a hike with you, or,
and that's
anything
fun.
like that, to be as real as I can.
Sick.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
don't stop believing. Don't
Oh.
stop believing. Don't stop believing. I'm such an idiot. Don't stop believing. This was a Revolver Fan First podcast. This is Matt Pike, High on Fire. He's got a solo album. It's going to be sick. Rock and roll, if you will.